What the For the past 3 weeks, the only thing that I've been seeing is Mamaearth IPO. From influencers on LinkedIn, and even when I'm talking to my dad, the only thing that he wants to know is whether he should invest in Mamaearth IPO. And the IPO hasn't even gone live. I'm getting so many different opinions from different sources. Some are calling Mamaearth ka product completely trash. Some are calling the company a scam. Some think that the valuation is absurd, which probably is. But I wanted to end the confusion. I wanted an opinion based in reality. So I did the only thing that I could. I read this document. This is a DRHP, a draft red herring prospectus. It tells you about some of the risks associated with the company. It tells you about the company's financials. And it also gives you a general idea about how the company operates. At the end of it all, after reading 460 odd pages, the thing I found out was that everything I knew about Mamaearth was wrong. Everything that most of these influencers had told me was also probably highly misleading. And if you want to know what I found out in my journey of reading this stupidly thick document, you should probably watch this video. I promise you, you won't regret it. Okay, first things first. This DRHP, it's like a packet of Lays. The packet looks big, but once you actually open it, you realize that there's 10 chips inside. And the DRHP, even though it's like 460 pages long, the real content is in about 20 pages. Okay, the first interesting thing I found out after reading the DRHP is that Shilpa Shetty is a shareholder. Now, I know that most of you already know Shilpa Shetty is a shareholder, but the interesting thing that I found out was that Shilpa Shetty invested about 6 crores in the company. And in turn, she became the company's brand ambassador. In fact, in the early promotional activities of Mamaearth, just when they were beginning to sort of grow, Shilpa Shetty's face was everywhere. And I probably thought that this was a bargain for Mamaearth, that Mamaearth was gaining from Shilpa Shetty's endorsement. But the reality is, she only invested about 6 crores in the company. She now holds about 1% of the company. Now, depending on how Mamaearth actually goes out in the public and values itself, her stake of 6 crores could be worth anywhere between 60 to 100 crores. Even more. That's a game changer for Shilpa Shetty as well. So, not only did Mamaearth gain from Shilpa Shetty's endorsements, but Shilpa Shetty is also in line to make a bumper bonanza if Mamaearth actually goes on to list at, 20 or 1,000 crores, as most people have been suggesting. The second interesting thing, Rishabh Mariwala is a shareholder. And I know you probably don't know who Rishabh Mariwala is, but you definitely know this. This is Parachute. It's made by a company called Marico. Marico is owned by Harsh Mariwala and his family. He was the founder. He was the one who innovated the iconic parachute bottle. I was sort of confused. Why is Marico, or at least Rishabh Mariwala, the son of the owner of Marico, a shareholder in Mamaearth? In fact, Mamaearth in the DRHP suggests that Marico is one of its competitors, a listed peer. So I'm not entirely sure what the association is. Maybe Harsh Mariwala and Rishabh Mariwala have been helping Mamaearth to scale, or maybe there's something else. Maybe they're just a shareholder. I don't know. But I thought that was definitely interesting. But once I got through the first 40, 50, 60 pages, that's when the juicy bit started coming in. That is when I realized everything I knew about Mamaearth was probably wrong. Everything I knew about Mamaearth as a company turned on its head. Completely. And I will start with the most bonkers thing I read after going through about 40 pages in the DRHP. Because until now, I thought Mamaearth was a consumer products company, that they manufactured things like toxin-free shampoos, baby oil, hair oil, that they have special formulations that nobody else can copy. But the more I read the DRHP, the more I realized that I was completely wrong. In fact, there's a section in this document called risk factors. It outlines everything that could potentially go wrong with the company, everything that could go wrong with the IPO. And point 4 of the risk factors, you'll read this. Mamaearth says, we don't manufacture anything in-house. In fact, we outsource everything to a third-party manufacturer under a non-exclusive agreement. And I'm like, what? In fact, I didn't even have to read the DRHP. If I'd only looked at this shampoo, I would have seen that this is marketed by Honasa Consumer Private Limited, which is Mamaearth, and manufactured by a company called VA Life Sciences. And this didn't make sense. Well, not because this is weird. Many companies do this. In fact, you have Pepsi. Pepsi don't manufacture their own bottles in India. In fact, that's done by another company called Varun Beverages. But the thing that is weird about Mamaearth is that, see, Pepsi at least has its special formulation, the iconic Pepsi formula. Nobody can copy. They have something special. But Mamaearth has no special formulations. In fact, if you read the document, you'll see that they have 0 patents to their name. Not only do they have no patents to their name, they haven't even made an application to get a patent, which means they don't care about manufacturing. They don't care about special formulations, and they don't care about other people copying their stuff. It doesn't matter if, say, the company that is currently manufacturing everything for Honasa and Mamaearth decides to actually do the same thing for somebody else. And I couldn't figure it out. I'm like, why? Why wouldn't you want to manufacture something in-house? Especially when you've told me that this is the best toxin-free shampoo there is. And that's when it hit me. See, before I started researching for this story, I decided to actually go into Mamaearth's website and test some of their products, their shampoos, their conditioners, their hair oil. And I was completely blown away by the number of products they actually had on their website. They had shampoos with henna, with egg, with rice water, with onion, with tea, with lemon and tea. And I was like, what? In fact, even in the DRHP, they say that between April and September 2022, they launched 255 new SKUs, stock keeping units. Now, stock keeping units don't actually mean new products every time, because this is a 250 ml shampoo and you could have the same shampoo in a 500 ml bottle. It's the same product, but it's a different SKU usually. But even then, 255 new SKUs is a lot of new products. In fact, they boast about it in the DRHP. They say that they launch more SKUs than most of the competitors, and they outperform them by a factor of 2. And that's when it hit me. Mamaearth doesn't manufacture anything in-house, because if you want to do R&D, development, quality testing, and then push out these products in such a short span of time, you actually have to outsource it. Mamaearth is only a 6-year-old company. For them to have so many manufacturing facilities and actually develop the expertise to do this on a consistent basis is probably a bit too far-fetched. In fact, Mamaearth doesn't care about their special toxin-free formulation. They want to be the first people to make the toxin-free formulation. They don't care about being the best. They care about being the first. If tomorrow shampoos with beetroots become famous, then Mamaearth will probably have a shampoo with beetroot in just under 2 months. That's kind of the whole thing with Mamaearth. Mamaearth doesn't manufacture anything in-house because it's beneficial to them. It's not necessarily a bad thing, because they can focus on their true value proposition, on the one thing that they're the best at, that nobody can beat at. What is that? Marketing. That's it. Marketing. That is the key value proposition. Mamaearth is a marketing powerhouse. And At one point, almost every influencer that I knew was probably marketing a Mamaearth product. Every contestant on Big Boss 14, every individual that I saw on YouTube or Instagram Reels or even LinkedIn. In fact, between April and September 2022, they worked with 3,958 influencers. I even found an affiliate link where I could sell Mamaearth products and earn commissions of up to 20%. Mamaearth is a marketing giant. There's no doubt about it. That's not all. See, when I was reading the DRHP, I noticed that Mamaearth had made 3 acquisitions in the past. They had acquired a company called BBlunt from Godrej. They have a few salons and a range of premium hair care products. And this made sense. It's a cosmetics company buying another cosmetics brand. Total sense. They'd also acquired another company called Dr. Shades, a range of premium skincare products this time. And once again, not too unusual. It's a skincare company, and Mamaearth is obviously a cosmetics manufacturer as well. Makes sense. But then there was a third acquisition. Mamaearth had also acquired another company called Just for Kids Services Private Limited. And this made no sense at first because the DRHP said they had a website called momspresso.com. So I decided to Google momspresso.com. And I found this website. It looks like sort of a blog with a lot of posts about mothers and stuff like that. And it kind of made sense until I realized that in the DRHP, the promoters note that they had paid 150 odd crores to acquire this company. Now, why would you pay 150 crores for a blog? I mean, that didn't make sense at all. So I read the document some more and I realized I had the wrong website. The real website wasn't momspresso.com. The real website was mymoney.momspresso.com. And then it became clear. See, when you visit this website, you'll realize that this is a network of about 50,000 odd influencers of mothers whose sort of only job is to sell products to their viewers. It's almost like YouTube, only in this case, it's a massive network of working mothers or maybe non-working mothers who actually advocate for Mamaearth and other companies. And I'm like, oh, now it makes sense. Mamaearth just acquired a content marketing platform because they're also a marketing giant. And all of a sudden, the clouds began to part and Mamaearth's vision actually became more clear. Mamaearth isn't about this shampoo. No, not at all. In fact, they don't even care about this shampoo. They could take any brand from the streets and they could sell the crap out of it so well that you will feel like buying one of their products no matter what. It doesn't have to be toxin-free. It could be anything else. They will sell it and make you want to buy it. That is their competence. But don't believe me? Just read the DRHP. In fact, when you read it, you'll read these 3 words over and over and over again. It's called House of Brands. See, I've been using the word Mamaearth very casually. In fact, that's not the company's name. The company's actual name is Honasa Consumer Private Limited. That's what I told earlier. That's what is written in this product as well. And Honasa doesn't just have Mamaearth under its house of brands. It also has other brands. There's Derma Company, a range of premium science-based skin products. That's something your dermatologist would recommend. There's also another brand called Aqualogica. Aqualogica is also another premium skincare brand. In fact, I even bought this product. It's a sunscreen. It's coconut water and doesn't matter. It's so expensive that I can't even pronounce it. And then there's another brand called Ayuga, an Ayurveda brand just for those Ayush conscious people. And you also have the 2 acquired brands, which is BBlunt and Dr. Shades. And then you have a house of brands. And that means the only thing the company has to do is replicate the same strategy that they had with Mamaearth and do the same thing with all the other brands they have. Do the same thing with Aqualogica, do the same thing with Ayuga, do the same thing with the to acquired brands. And that's the whole strategy. They have a playbook now. All they have to do is replicate this across other brands. Sell it. Sell it through influencers, sell it through online celebrities, sell it any way you can. In fact, this is one of the biggest criticisms of Mamaearth. They are a marketing company, yes, but they spend nearly 40% of their revenues on marketing alone. Compare that to something like Hindustan Unilever that spends less than 10% of their revenues on marketing. And while other people may sort of criticize Mamaearth for that, I don't think that's always a valid criticism, because you see, I remember Surf Excels, Lifebuoys, etc. because they've been advertised since decades. I remember the brand because I associate with the brand. I've seen them since I was a child. And if Mamaearth wants to replicate the strategy, they have to invest the same kind of money in marketing. They're a young company. They're only 6 years old. So it means that they have to spread the word as much as they can. And you know what? This has actually worked really well for the company. Their top line has gone from 100 crores to 900 crores in just a span of 1 year. Ask anybody in this business, any cosmetic manufacturer, how hard it is to actually go from 100 crores to 900 crores in just 1 year, and they'll tell you. In fact, they're also a profitable company, unlike most startups in India. They already have a profit of about 14 crores for the last year. And the more you read about it, the more you think Mamaearth is actually not a terrible company as most of these influencers have made it seem. If anything, Mamaearth is currently in an industry that is due to explode anytime soon. By 2026, the market that they're currently in is expected to be worth $36 billion. And right now, 85% of the market is unorganized, which means these are local brands without a lot of visibility. And eventually, it'll become more organized. It'll become more favorable for players like Mamaearth. And when that happens, you could argue that Mamaearth is actually in pole position to take full advantage. So what's wrong? Until now, everything I read and said about Mamaearth seems to be positive. It seems to be a good company that's earning a profit, that's doing decently well, albeit they have their own competence of marketing and not necessarily manufacturing. But still, there's nothing to suggest that Mamaearth is a terrible company. So why are people bad-mouthing the company so much? Why is everybody saying this whole thing is a scam? Well, there are problems. Well, the first problem is marketing. But I know what I said. I did tell you that Mamaearth actually has to continue investing in marketing and advertising if they want to build the brand. Take it from the street and make it something that people aspire for. But the problem is if they keep launching new products, new categories, and entirely new brands altogether, when will they stop? And if they have to keep investing in marketing and almost 40% of their revenues, where is the margin going to come from? We're not going to have a brand that's making 20% margin on their products. No, we're probably going to have a brand that's barely making 4-5%, if that much. And if that is the case, why should I buy this company? Won't I buy this company when they're actually making the 10-15% margin that we're usually used to with these kind of companies? So when will this actually stop? The second problem is that we've been told, until now, everything that I read about Mamaearth is that it's an online-first D2C brand, a direct-to-consumer brand where they sell the products directly to you. That way, they can actually keep most of the commissions for themselves and earn a better margin. But the reality is that they're not an online-only D2C brand. In fact, 36% of their revenue right now comes from offline channels. And offline is a totally different ballgame. You have distributors, you have middlemen, you have to keep pushing these products, and you have to have a lot of capital, because once you actually invest in your product, you have to wait for these distributors to actually pay back. And that means everything changes. The way you look at Mamaearth as an online company is entirely different when you actually enter the offline domain. You make probably lesser margins, you probably have to invest more, and it will probably take forever before they actually crack this game. And then there is the third problem. In fact, this is my biggest problem. See, when I was reading the DRHP, I noticed something truly incredible. In it, Mamaearth actually writes that it's more profitable to sell Mamaearth products offline than online. Wait, what? Until now, Mamaearth has actually raised millions of dollars from investors, from venture capitalists, and all kinds of people, even consumers, promising that it is more profitable to sell online. In fact, the whole idea of direct-to-consumer brands took off in a big way, because if you're selling directly to consumers, me and you, without middlemen, it's actually more profitable. It's a high margin business. That's what separated you from other traditional manufacturers like HUL, P&G, and all of them. And suddenly, when it comes to going public and putting it in the DRHP, you see that it's more profitable to sell offline? Then what's the difference? And then there's another thing. See, when I was researching for this story, I wanted to read as much as I could about Mamaearth. And that's when I found a report from the Morning Context that highlighted something very important. It seems Mamaearth pays their distributors commissions of up to 50% when they're actually selling offline, whereas other companies only pay commissions of up to 20%. So my question is, are you telling me it's more profitable to sell offline when you're paying 50% commissions already? Or are you telling me it's more profitable to sell offline eventually, maybe 2-3 years from now, when the commissions drop, maybe you'll only be paying 20-30%? Which one is it? And I know that I told you that the market is ripe for an explosion and that Mamaearth will be a leader in this segment. But that's only because I was reading from the DRHP. The thing is, the industry reports that are in these documents are prepared usually by a company called Redseer Consulting Private Limited. In this case, Redseer was hired and paid for, commissioned by Mamaearth. They paid for the report. Of course, Redseer is only going to say nice things about the industry, no? But the reality is that this industry is huge and there will be an explosion most likely, but it's also cutthroat. You think when Mamaearth expands into the offline space and starts making forays there, the likes of HUL and P&G and the other traditional players are going to just sit by idly and do nothing? No, of course not. They're also going to compete aggressively. They're going to push back, which means Mamaearth will have to compromise on their margins as they keep expanding into the offline business as well. So my question again is, where is the margins going to come from? Is the margins going to expand beyond the 3-4% that's currently exists? Is it going to be 20% in the next 2 years? Or is it going to be 20% in the next 10 years? Which one is it? And if the margins don't improve very quickly, you have the biggest problem of them all, the valuation problem. This is the problem that almost everybody's been talking about. The influencers, my dad, my neighbors, everyone who's been talking about Mamaearth has been talking about the valuation problem. Listen, Mamaearth is a good company. In fact, I've been reading DRHPs since 2018. And I've read DRHPs of small and medium enterprises, of big companies, and I've seen so many horrible things. I've seen companies with dodgy financials. I've seen promoters siphoning money from their own company. I've seen completely ridiculous business models. And I can confidently say that Mamaearth has none of those red flags. In fact, if anything, Varun Alag and Cousin Alag, the founders of Mamaearth, deserve a lot of credit for building this company. They did something that most people didn't think was even possible. And you have to give credit for that. Unfortunately, the problem is that you're asking me to invest in a company at a valuation of 24,000 crores when I'm only making 14 crores in profits. How? How? I'm sorry, I just can't see that. Because for people like me, especially retail investors, when I'm investing in a company, I should be able to make money off of it. If you're already asking me to pay that kind of money for a company that's barely turning a profit, I just don't see how I can make money. And listen, I understand. Sometimes, as investors, we have to take extraordinary leaps of faith. Sometimes we have to invest in young companies with bags of potential, even if they're not turning a profit, like an Amazon or a Google. You don't know exactly what they're doing, but you know that they're entering into a domain that's unventured. Nobody knows what's going to happen. Maybe something extraordinary is going to happen, maybe something nothing at all. But I can invest in the potential because it's a completely new thing. But Mamaearth is not a new thing. In fact, people have been using shampoos in India since 500 years. And it was toxin-free and all natural back then too. So what's the new age thing? What's the potential here? To be fair, Ghazal Alag, the founder of Mamaearth, actually came out and said that the valuation isn't public yet, that they're still discovering the true value and this is an ongoing process. But even if I assume that, the last time Mamaearth raised money was at a valuation of $1.2 billion. Conservatively speaking, they wouldn't list the company at a valuation lower than that. Not when they're making a profit. So if I assume you're going to list it at a slight premium from the $1.2 billion, say $2 billion, right? That's 16,000 crores. You're still asking a lot of money from retail investors. Why? Especially when 4 months ago, Varun Alagh, in a separate interview, said that they didn't even need outside money to keep running the company. So is the only point here to dump your stake on retail investors and just hope for the best? Like, what's the plan? What is the plan? I don't know. After reading this document, I just don't have an answer. And if I had to advise anybody who's watching this, and if Mamaearth eventually goes public, I only have one thing to say. Be frugal. Be cheap. Buy companies like you're buying vegetables. Always negotiate and get the best price possible. In fact, I didn't even say that. That's actually Varun Alagh in another interview where he said, run businesses like you're actually buying vegetables. Always negotiate. Always get the best price. And that's my takeaway. After reading 400 pages, after researching for about 2 weeks, the only thing I can say is that Mamaearth is a good company whose time hasn't come yet. And when it comes, and when the margins improve, when some of those promises that they currently hold actually bears fruit, I'll probably reconsider. But until then, I'm sorry, I can't invest in this company. I can't put my money as a responsible investor in something as expensive as this stock. Until then. All right then. I hope you guys actually enjoyed this video and found this analysis insightful. My name is Shret Karkera. I head content at Finshots. We run a small newsletter explaining all things finance, business, and economics in simple layman language. And I've been doing it for a while. I thought, might as well make some videos and probably make some interesting long-form analysis. And this is my first attempt. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And if you did enjoy it, please like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends, with your dad, anybody who's been talking about Mamaearth. And if this video reaches like 500 likes, I promise to make another very insightful video in the next 2 weeks. Promise. Yeah? That's it for me. Bye. Take care.
What was this? What is IRL? Looks good, yeah?